Good evening, everybody. Welcome to SLR and the end of season awards night for season 6. It has been an amazing last 6 months or so, 7 months for the league. Come on leaps and bounds yet again. A lot of new drivers coming in the door, which is always great to see. Um, 6 months of solid racing in all five divisions. And yeah, we've got a lot of awards to get through this evening. A lot of awards given out by admins, by the LOs, and by peers, other drivers, and so on. Hopefully, as well, we'll have some 5 lap races to go on in the background, so we've got a little bit of something to look at instead of just staring at the cars in the showroom or a blank screen or whatever. Um, so it's myself, Ham, and I'm joined by Jam this evening, the usual duo of comms anyway. We've been entrusted with conducting these awards tonight, so hopefully everything runs smoothly. We should hopefully be joined by a few of the recipients of said awards throughout the evening as well, which is good. So hopefully we won't be left on our own here. But yeah, good evening to you, James, mate. As I say, a lot of awards to hand out. Obviously, a few of those chosen by yourself. And obviously, as one of the winners of a fair few awards during your time in SLR, mate, I guess just good evening to you. And are you looking forward to this? Because I sure am. I think it's going to be a really good evening. Well, I hope it's going to be a really good evening, and I think it should be as well.
Yeah, good evening, Harry, and yeah, of course, good evening to everyone. Tuning in, hopefully tuning in. I think we've gone live by the looks of things.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I think the awards night is it's got pros and cons for me. I think sometimes some of the drivers, because obviously there's only a certain few specific awards, some drivers maybe miss out sometimes on the recognition they deserve. But I think, well, personally for us, I know for a fact when we chose our awards within Elite, it certainly wasn't a rush decision. Myself, you and Freeman all spent quite a bit of time discussing the awards and who we thought they should go to. So, yeah, I think even the drivers that don't win awards tonight, I think just got to remember that obviously still a part of the league, still get recognition, and we still discuss people when we're doing the awards, not just the people that win them. So, but yeah, on the whole, I think it's a good evening. It's a good way to round off the season, and yeah, I'm looking forward to another awards night tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think you've hit the nail on the head there, really, James. This awards night, it's not to, put others down and say, oh, so and so's done better, and no one's done as well as them. It's more, the other way around. It's rewarding those that have, maybe just gone that extra mile, had a fantastic season, and improved, something like that. Obviously, everyone has been such an asset to the races this season. I mean, doing commentary for Division One for the most part, and I hopped in for a few Division Three races, and watched obviously the elite races back, and some of the Division Two races. I mean, some of the battling, the driving going on was brilliant to see. And of course, don't forget about F2 as well. So yeah, I mean, as you say, it's definitely one of those. It's just sort of I guess complimenting those on their truly excellent season, but it's definitely not putting anything against those that had very good seasons, nevertheless. Right then, so enough of the rambling. Let's let's get on. We are going to start then. We're going to go in a reverse order, as it were. We'll start with F2, and we'll work our way throughout the evening up to Elite. So then, I'm not sure. I don't know if you can check quickly, James. I'm not sure if any of the F2 admins are around to have a quick word. If they are, it'd be good if we can get them in. If not, I guess we'll have to do this one solo, lone wolf, whatever. But we'll start off with some stats, some statistics here. So for F2 this season, the award for the most pole positions goes to myself, funnily enough, with 6 pole positions.
Rigged
Zydrad
this
had
week.
5, you had 2, Jam, and Nikki got 1. So yeah, we'll be doing these little stats for all the divisions. We won't be interviewing these guys, but yeah, it's just giving those a shout out for their efforts in their respective divisions. Fastest lap award goes to you, James, with 10. I've got 9. Zydrad had 4. Nikki and Bennett both had 2 each, and Darnell and Race Roller had 1 each. Of course, with there being 2 races in the F2 weekend, both nights or each night, sorry. It's double the chance to earn yourself a fastest lap, and a race win. The award for wins goes to me with 10. James had 8. We've got Zyjan on 4, Dono on 2, Nikki, Southerner, Sem, and Roller all had 1 each. And then for podiums, Jam actually came out on top there with 20. I had 19. Zyjan had 11. Dono 9. Roller 7. Southerner 5. And then it's cut me off. I can't see the
Ooh,
rest, unfortunately.
let me get them quickly.
We had
It
we had
was
how many races this season? About
Beast on
20.
5 as well,
Gone.
Nicky on 3, Sem on 2, and then Bennett, Freeman, and McEwen all had 1. There were 14 races, so that's 28 rounds.
14, 28, yeah, 28 opportunities for podiums, and 3 podiums a race. So if we do some quick maths, it's
Big crash at the back.
28, 56, 84. I've not even loaded in, so I'm going to try and reload back into the race. So yeah, I think there's about 84 podiums up for grabs this season, and those were the drivers that shared them out.
Yeah, we've got Summer in the party now. Then obviously one of the F2 admins. I was just wondering, Harry, if we have a quick word with him before we get on with the awards. He might want to have a say about a couple of them as well. But yeah, just
for sure. Could I just grab a quick invite, James?
Yes, that is fine. I was just going to say, ask Summer a couple questions. I'm sure he's in and he's got his box ticked.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, firstly, I just wanted to say, one, what's your overall feel about how the F2 season went, and then two, what are the ambitions, what are the hopes for the next season of F2 on the new game?
I think the Formula 2 this season has taken another step forward. I think with its progression in SLR, of course, we've just completed our 3rd season, and what a stunning season it was. 14 rounds, 28 races. There's plenty of incidents and amazing race polls, etc. Of course, we had U2 with Zydrad at the start of the season. Effectively, a battle free for the title. That was a great advert for people to join Formula 2, and especially in like the last 3 or 4 rounds of this season, we've just had so many people express an interest. In fact, as I speak, I'm getting Mason Gammon into the Formula 2 division as he wants to race for next season. So it's just continuously growing, which obviously the long-term goal for Formula 2 is to eventually have a 2nd division. Of course, you need the interest for a 2nd division, which is why next season we've got the introduction of the Evo class, which is more or less aimed at drivers who are outside the McEwen division and Division 1, who might not be getting points and might end up wanting to leave Formula 2 because they're nowhere near the points. It gives them a chance to fight for something. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that next season. But again, yeah, back to this season, it's just been absolutely fantastic. You two lads, and Zydrad when he was here, just making it such a good show to watch. People might think, oh, it's boring, it's always the same crew at the front, but when it's the same people at the front who are putting on such an amazing show, you just can't fault it. And hopefully next season, like myself, Darnell, Roller, Beast, hopefully we'll be even closer to you guys next season. We'll be able to set up something absolutely beyond imagination.
Yeah, I was going to say actually quickly. Obviously, you mentioned there the sort of 3-way title fight, and then kind of 2-way title fight that it ended up being in the end after Zydrad dropped out. But To be honest, I think the amount of the wins and podiums that myself and Harry both ended up with really sort of doesn't show the whole picture of F2 this season. I know towards the end, especially, there were like yourself, Darnell, Beast, obviously McEwen as well. You were all getting quicker and closer towards us and making it a lot more difficult for us to get those podiums and those wins that we obviously needed to fight for the championship. So I think, yeah, like you say, you summed it up perfectly. I think the next season, I think the pace gap is from the start, the first season we did to now. I think it's really shrunk between the top, especially. So yeah, I think hopefully rather than just a two-way title fight for the neutrals anyway, it'll be hopefully 4, 5, 6 guys, maybe even more, sort of really close together. A bit like it is more sort of with the real F2, which would be I think would be really good to see, and hopefully keep everyone going to the end. If are you alright, Harry? Are you back in and everything, or do you need another invite still?
No, my invite didn't work, mate.
Oh,
I might
right.
need another
Yeah,
one.
sorry, apologies for that. Do you want to start with a couple of the awards then, and we could get a quick
Yep,
word
I
from
was,
Matt for a couple of them?
Yeah, of course, I was just about to do that. Okay then, so we've got the Driver of the Season award for the F2 division. This goes to someone who unfortunately is no longer with us, but I mean the way that he conducted himself in the division last season, coming on leaps and bounds, making some stunning progress. You know, I for one was really looking forward to seeing how he'd be able to fare in the next season, and hoping, obviously after having a few battles on track, that you know we maybe have a few more this next season. Obviously, you know, I guess unforeseeable circumstances mean that won't be occurring. But yeah, SLR McEwen has received the Driver's Driver this season for F2. I think that's thoroughly deserved, to be honest. As I say, came on leaps and bounds throughout the season, was consistently fighting for podiums. Of course, got that one podium in Abu Dhabi just at the end there, which I think was maybe slightly sort of not entirely reflective of his season. But yeah, so SLR McEwen then has been awarded the Driver's Driver of the season from his peers in the F2 division. We got Most Improved Driver as well. Again, given out by the F2 drivers, and that goes to Bennett, a driver who's obviously been doing the business out on the F1 side of things for a couple of seasons now. But yeah, he's really shown his worth in F2. And again, I mean, this award I think equally could have maybe gone to McEwen as well. But yeah, Bennett, another driver who's also really stepped up and has been consistently fighting for podiums. Not necessarily getting them, but definitely has been up there fighting for podiums throughout the season. And again, another driver who I really look forward to seeing how he will progress and get on next season. I don't know if you want to say a couple of words on that, James. I don't think that invite works again, so I'm going to reboot my game.
All right.
Hopefully it'll work this time.
He was so good at getting P8 in the feature races, getting that reverse grid pole, and then you just wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see him. You wouldn't be able to catch him because I mean, his starts were just electric, weren't they? I remember the amount of times we said to each other in the party, like, "Oh, we're losing the place off the start here because Bennett's right behind." And,
We just knew it was coming. Yeah.
I think definitely one of the guys that has improved a lot within F2. I'm sure Matt would agree with that as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely an exciting one for the future for next season. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so those were the two awards given out by the fellow F2 drivers to their peers. So we've got a few more to go through. These were given out by the admins. So we've got the best race for the F2 division. I mean, I'm sure this was a difficult one to pick. The amount of brilliant races we had throughout the season. I was slightly surprised when I heard this one come up, it has to be said. But it was the Hungary sprint race, which was the race of the season. Wet conditions, if I recall.
Yes.
It was a race where, well, we'd seen Zajad win the feature. and I came second, I believe. Obviously, I'm kind of speaking from my own perspective because I'm not entirely sure what else happened. But Zygel and I kind of worked our way up through the field, got up behind his teammate. I believe it was Halo, if I recall.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a really good battle between the three of us. I'm sure there was other battling going on, which also kind of promoted it to be the race of the season. And yeah, I managed to get past Zygel and his teammate and win the race. So from my own point of view, I mean, it was a very good race for myself. But like I say, I'm sure Matt can kind of talk us through it a bit better than I can, from maybe a slightly more neutral perspective.
No, I mean, I must admit, it was like one of you two said earlier. There were so many races that it could have gone to, but the main reason I said Hungary is such a sprint was because it was quite a defining moment, I think, in the season, as such as. Of course, that was the weekend where Jam. I sorry to bring up, but you didn't score a single point, which I think going into that you're quite a decent lead, and then of course it gave Harry the opportunity to get a few more points in, and then that same race, team orders at UNI Virtuosi didn't seem to exist, and that effectively cost Hydrad the chance of victory. As well as that, though, I mean, for a brief period you had about, or for quite a few laps, maybe to right at the end, you had about 5 or 6. Fighting for the win, or just all bunched together at the front, and it wasn't until the very last stages of the Grand Prix where it started to stretch out a bit, when of course tyres were becoming a problem. Myself actually, and I think a little Wiggy with a few corners to go, actually even get the puncture for it. So that was, I mean, there probably was better races out of it, but again, there was so many to choose from, and I just had to go through race reports, and I was like, oh god, yeah, that happened. Of course, that happened. There were quite a few season-defining moments. So yeah, that's why we chose Hungary.
Yeah, definitely. As you kind of put it, pretty well there. It was a very good race. In fact, rather fittingly, we've got Hungary in the 5 lappers coming up. So hopefully, I'll be able to bring you this one. Apologies for the issues with the game, but we should be getting that up and going in a moment. Right then, so we'll rattle on through the rest of the F2 awards. We've got the Best Overtake award now, and that goes to yourself, Jam, for the Monaco sprint race. I mean, that was possibly your highlight of the season. Monaco, both the victories, of course. And yeah, that stunning sprint race victory, carving your way through the field, and I believe it was a triple overtake, wasn't it, up the hill, round Casino Square. So yeah, I mean, a mega moment. I think that was perhaps the obvious one that would come to mind if you asked someone what you thought was a good overtake that season.
Mate,
so yeah, well done to that one.
Yeah, the one thing I'm disappointed about with that overtake is I sent it into Veloce for overtakes the week, and it never got in the video. What's that all about?
If you're watching Veloce, get his overtaking video.
No, yeah, it's one of my favourite moves I think I've ever done. So yeah, happy with that one.
And in fact, we move on to the next award, which is also from the Monaco Sprint Race, which is the Best Battle of the Season, which goes to Zydrad versus SLR Nikki. I mean, in all honesty, I probably should have done a bit of homework and rewatched the race, so I don't entirely know what this battle was.
Battle for the lead, mate.
But I'm sure it was a really good battle. Was it a battle for the lead?
Yeah,
there we go.
right at the
So we had a
start of
battle
the
for
sprint
the
race.
lead in the sprint race, and Jam somehow came out on top. So there you go. A really good battle. It must have been from Zydrad and Nikki. I imagine for the duration of the race as well, actually.
I think, yeah, it did end up
so-
going on longer than the first couple of laps, if I remember rightly.
So yeah, that's good to see. We've got the best moment of the season. I'm sure this could have been clown moment as well. It's Zydrad and Southerner having a bit of a coming together in Baku, wiping not only themselves out, but also Zydrad was catapulted into myself, and I was smashed into the wall as
That's
well.
definitely best moment.
Definitely was maybe my low point of the season, that Baku race. But yeah, I mean, looking back on it, after everything's been said and done, I can't say I'm too bothered about it at the moment. You're gonna look back at it and laugh. But yeah, definitely for the neutrals perhaps, and for some of those hoping to get a podium or onto the podium for that weekend. I'm sure they were very much
Yeah, I loved it, mate.
happy recipients of that incident. I think for my own sanity, we'll move on from that one, and we'll go to the clown moment of the season, which is the Carlin team, with a bit of a calamity seemingly at the turn, the first corner in Austria.
The driver Carlin. Sorry, I should probably mention that. Yeah, the driver Carlin.
Oh, was he
Yeah,
the one where
yes,
his
I remember
brakes?
now.
Yeah,
He
yes,
said
that
his
one.
brake wasn't
Sorry.
working and
Yeah.
slammed. Alright, yeah.
There we go.
I thought it was the team as well.
Bit of a
not gonna lie.
miscommunication. So it's not the Carlin drivers. Apologies for that. I know you were one of them, of course, weren't you, Matt?
Yeah.
So yeah, not the Carlin drivers. Carlin the driver. Seemingly forgetting where his brake pedal was at the start of the sprint race. And then the last F2 award is for team chemistry. I guess
Shock.
there's not a massive surprise here. It's Ham and Jam. I guess, winning the Constructors' Championship, with relative ease in the end. I think it was the look of the draw more than anything, really. When we were sat there on the night of the driver draw, and we were watching the F2 draw, and we were waiting for our names to be called, and then it got to the final four, and we were sat there, we were thinking, oh, we could be teammates here, and lo and behold, we were. Gotta say, we were rather pleased with it. As it turned out, it maybe wasn't the most convenient of partnerships at times.
Yeah, it'd be nice to not have to run the ultimate strategy every week.
Yeah.
I'm sure, people will be pleased to know that we haven't chosen the same car for next season.
But yeah, we got it sorted. We got over the line, and which allowed us, I guess, to kind of go a bit harder for the drivers' championship for the final few races. But that has it then for F2. I guess thank you to yourself, Matt, and Joe as well for your efforts this season. As you kind of mentioned yourself, I think the division's really come on leaps and bounds. And also you've given us quite a few awards there. We didn't ask for them, but you've added them in, which is good to see. I don't know whether this is a good or a bad thing, guys, but we've got less awards to be handed out later on.
Well, I was going to say, believe it or not, there was only one of those categories where we had a difference on opinion, and that was the best battle, where I said, mainly for the banter side of it, Zydrad versus Lil Wiggy, for effectively, again, that's how he lost Hungary, and Joe went for his and Beast, but then I saw the montage of Nicky's and Zydrad's battle, and I was like, yeah, it's got to be that. But yeah, apart from that, it was all quite easy in the end. just you two are just so good at what you do.
Making me blush. All right. Well, yes. Thank you for joining us, Matt. Hopefully, we might, if you're still around, get you in later on if you want to have a quick chat about Elite or something later.
Yeah, but just send me an invite.
Now,
just send me an invite if you.
Alright, sure thing. But for now, then that does us for F2. So we'll move on to the Division 3. If you would be so kind, James, would you be able to get Dodgy and Cowan into the party, please?
Yes, I can. I'm not sure if I've got them added. Dodgy and Cowan, you say? I'll have a look now.
Please. Right then, so we'll start then with the Division 3, the poles, the fastest laps and so on, those awards. So we've got pole positions then. It is Lofty with 5. I recall from watching Division 3 myself, Lofty was especially towards that back end of the season, really stepped up his qualifying game, took 5 pole positions, so yeah, mega effort there from him. The most podiums of the season was Hypers with 10. Hypers, of course, falling slightly short in the title battle, but 10 podiums is nothing to be sniffed at all. We got race wins, I believe also went to Lofty as well, so 5 race wins to go along with his 5 pole positions. and fastest laps as well is Hypers with 4. So yeah, Hypers, despite not quite getting that championship, he topped the statistics sheets anyway for quite a few there. So then, I believe we've got Dodgy and Karen in the party. Dodgy, of course, being one of the Division 3 admins, so we can have a quick chat with him, hopefully about just the season on as a whole before we move on to the admins, drivers, and the drivers votes. If you want to take it away, James.
Right. Yeah, just a quick one again. Kind of just what I like what I said to Matt. Sorry, for the F2. Just overall, obviously as an admin for Div 3, how do you feel the season went? Would you say it was a good season on the whole, one that you enjoyed and one that the admins were happy with?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the division itself was very good this year. There was a lot of boys in that division who got much as the season, myself included in there, but there was a good handful at the end, very competitive. Overall, I think that the general craft has improved in Division 3. I think a lot of the people in Division 3 are trying to do the system things, and it's gone quite well. I mean, yes, we did have a few races where there was an incident or two, but that's always happened in a division. But yeah, generally, I think Division 3 was a good year this year.
You there, James?
Yeah, sorry, I was just a bit confused by what you were saying. Yeah, sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. Yeah, game sounds a bit loud as well, apparently, how you
Is
saying.
it? Alright,
But,
well,
yeah,
I'll
just
sort it out for the
that's,
next
ooh, it's a bit. Oh no, it's better now. The audio is a bit weird in the ears, but yeah, it's just Dodgy again then. For next season, for the next game, how are your personal aspirations for the championship potentially, or just going to see how it goes with the new game?
I don't know if you're aware or not. Next season, I'm unable to race F1, so I've been in touch with Matt to try come into the division. So, unfortunately, I can't have a crack at Division 2 for family personal reasons. But I am available on Thursdays, so I am get a chance to give the F2. I say that with laugh. I'll hopefully give you guys your money, but that's not going to happen.
Well, that's disappointing on one front, but obviously good that you're sticking within SLR, and the F2 division's a great division, and yeah, hopefully potentially two divisions in that as well, which could be good to see.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to carry on with the
Yep.
awards for Div 3, and then we'll have a chat with Karen as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're coming back to Dodgy though straight away, as the driver of the season for Division 3 has gone to Dodgy. Champion, of course. I mean, a mega season it was. You know, early doors, Hypers obviously, and Jess, the sort of Renault duo, really sort of, you know, stretched their legs, and it seemed as though it was set on for one of those two to take the title. But yeah, Dodgy, with consistency and some solid results throughout the middle part of the season, clawed the gap back, and then took the lead and really didn't look back. So yeah, really good season from yourself, and obviously topped off with the title. So I guess if you just want to maybe have a few words on your season.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to thank all the lads that voted for me. I wasn't obviously as the title winner. I thought everyone's going to vote for somebody else, give somebody else an award. But it's nice to get. It's nice. Thanks to all the lads that voted. The season itself, it started off really badly for me. I got a couple of points finishes at the start of the season, and then I had a 3 or 4 race stint where I just picked up nothing up, didn't finish, couldn't get in the points for whatever reason. And then I think it was by round 8 at Azerbaijan, I think I was nearly 50 points behind Hypers in the title race. And it wasn't until about round 15 in Italy where it all turned round, and I managed to claw back to like 13 or 14 points, and then every race after that, I just managed to score big or score well, not always win, but get up there on the podiums, and it was enough to claw back and increase the lead, and then eventually came Abu Dhabi. Unfortunately, obviously, the final race wasn't quite the race that we wanted to see as a championship finale. Headers had a few issues, and then obviously retired from the race, so it wasn't quite what we wanted to see either as drivers or I guess as spectators, you guys or whoever else watching the race. But yeah, overall, I was really happy with this. Really good, and not enough to say really.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I'm kind of just trying to work something out with Crispy. Just get him a few words for later on. Yeah, as you say, a great season from yourself. Obviously, as you mentioned, it's going to be a shame that we're not going to see you racing in Division 2, but as sort of Cham said, silver linings and all that. And well, I guess we'll look forward to seeing you in F2 next season.
Yeah.
All right then. So we're gonna move on to the most improved driver of the season, and that goes to Cowan, a driver who was fighting right at the front towards the end of the season. Possibly at the start as well. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not that brushed up on Division 3, I'm sure you can tell us. But yeah, a really good season from yourself as well. And I, for one, look forward to seeing how you get on in the next one as well, mate. So if you just want to, again, just talk us through your season and if you've got any sort of hopes and aspirations for the next one.
Oh yeah, well, thanks a lot, everyone. First, yeah, it was been a mental season at the start because, like, the first when I got the game, it was I basically couldn't even do hairpins in the game, and then to just gradually practice and get better at it and just fall in love with league racing. Tell it true. From the start, and that, I knew I could. It was keeping the nerves. I think from the start, it was just keeping when you're doing the qualifying, and then like knowing you can do a lap, and then doing it when the race starts is totally different. And then I did practice a lot. Practice a lot with a lot of the lads. We have a couple of us in Div 3 were quite close in our group, and Craig FK, I used to practice with him, and I knew I could do it. I just it was getting rid of the nerves, to tell it the truth, and there was just it was learning the tracks. So for me, mainly it was learning the tracks, because like I'd only done so much of the tracks, and then trying to practice them tracks, and then going on and trying to handle the nerves while I was doing it. It was two different things. But yeah, sometimes I got it, and sometimes I was a bit gutted. But overall, all I wanted was 1 point. I just didn't want to look. I just wanted to have that 1 point at the end of the season, just to like so Dodgy didn't feel disappointed, to tell it true.
Yeah, well, as you say, a great season from yourself. I think, as you kind of mentioned there, I guess the position that you were perhaps in at the start of the season, to sort of perform as consistently and as well as you did is thoroughly impressive. So yeah, congratulations to yourself for winning that most improved driver from your fellow Division 3 drivers.
Thanks a lot, lads.
Yeah, cheers for joining us, boys. You're free to leave now if you like. But yeah, also just again, congratulations.
Yep, cheers, boys.
Thank you.
Right then, we've got one more award to hand out for Division 3. Sorry for just springing this on you, Charlie. Is there two more? Sorry. I've only got one more, but if you've got another one, James, feel free to give it. But yeah, sorry. Sorry for springing this one on you, Charlie. If you're able to say a few words, but you have received the admin's driver of the season for Division 3. So again, as I've asked the others, just what are your hopes for next season, and how do you feel this one went? Are you maybe eyeing up a championship challenge next season, given your form towards the end of the last one?
Well, I'm quite surprised, to be fair to you. Did not expect it at all, but thanks for everyone who voted for me. Well, the admins. And yeah, for next season, obviously it'd be nice to win a championship, but more concentrated on just really improving. Try and get my first race win. Yeah, and just go from there really. Try and get better as the new game comes out. It's a new game, so anything could happen. I could be about 10 times slower, you never know. But yeah, just improve, hopefully.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing how you can get on next season. Definitely one to keep an eye out for with the way that you've been going in the sort of, I guess, since was it Hungary when you got your first podium?
Yeah, it was, yeah. I got third, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So since then, I mean, it's kind of just been on the up, which is great to see. So then, James, if there is one more award, I'll hand it over to you to hand out.
Yeah,
'cause
you
I
haven't done
seen it,
you
so-
haven't done drive of the season, have you, or have I just completely forgotten
Yeah,
that you did
that was dodgy, mate.
No, drive of the season.
Oh, drive of the season.
Yeah.
I don't have one here,
Oh,
but
no,
if you've got one,
No,
then
Gareth messaged me it earlier on.
all right.
Well, actually a few weeks ago, but yeah, here the Div 3 drive of the season that was given out by the Div 3 admins was to Grumpy Orange in Abu Dhabi. Gareth just put here, he drove out of his skin in the final race, narrowly missed out on a podium finish. If I remember correctly, he started quite near the back of the grid, and yeah, I didn't watch the race personally, so I'm just kind of going off of what Gareth has said to me here. But yeah, it sounds like Orange has gone from quite near the back, if not the very back of the grid, to yeah, come P4 I think in the end. So yeah, that sounds like it was a very good race from him. So congratulations on the drive of the season for Div 3. I think if you're happy, Harry, we can get straight on with Div 2. Obviously, thanks to Charlie for joining at such late notice. But
Yep,
yeah, if
cheers,
you've not got
lads.
anything else to add, then Harry, I think we can move on.
No, that will do us then for Div 3. As I say, as James said, cheers everyone for joining, and congratulations on your various awards there. So hopefully we'll get a few of the Division 2 drivers in a few moments and have them say a few words if possible. I think it would be Zach, Rockerman and Dorsey.
I'll have a look.
And possibly Owen as well. It might be nice if we can get maybe Owen in
Yeah,
to say
I'll
a
send him
few
in,
words as well. But yeah, we'll go on to Division 2 then, and we'll start again with the more statistic-based awards that we have to give out, if I can find them. Right, yes. So we have got the most podiums is SLR Fempest, of course, the drivers' champion in Division 2 with 11. Fastest laps was Owen with 4. I haven't got wins or poles. I don't know if you have got them, James.
No, but I should think wins will have been. It would have been Dorsey, won't it? I'll have a quick look, actually.
Owen might have them. I don't know
Owen will
if you've
probably
got them
know.
to hand, Owen.
Wins
we need
for Div 2.
wins
It would have been Dorsey, won't
and
it? Surely.
poles as well. Oh no, not poles. Yeah, poles. That was it. Alright. Yeah, no worries, mate. Right then. That's fine. We'll go on to the other awards. Who've we got in the party, James?
We're just waiting on Dorsey, I think. Zach's here
I'm here.
and
Alright.
Rockamad as well.
No, we got
Oh, no.
everyone.
Oh, I missed a missing then.
Alright.
Yeah. It's
Just make
Rockamad,
sure
it's not
everyone's
John,
got
my
their...
bad.
Alright. Just make sure you've all got your boxes ticked. You know the procedure. So then, yes, driver of the season for Division 2, and it goes to the champion SLR Fempest, Dorsey. I mean, yeah, what can I say? Championship, of course. A fantastic start to the season. I believe you won about 4 of the first 6 races. It was something like that anyway. And then yeah, never really looked back from that moment on. You know, you had a few guys trying to challenge you, but yeah, you were probably the most consistent and arguably the fastest as well throughout the season. Capped off, of course, with the championship. So again, yeah, just talk us through your season and should you be racing next season? Just I guess your hopes for how you can manage in Division 1 next season.
Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, like you say, the start of the season was probably the best start I could have asked for. There was a lot of call to move me up pretty quick, but luckily for me, I managed to stay in division. Yeah, Craig, the guy that left, Craig FK, I actually voted for him as my driver of the season because I think his performance coming up from Div 3 and performing like he did, pushing me the whole way through Div 2 was, up until when he left, was pretty impressive. So, yeah, really happy with the title, the season. I'm gonna dedicate that title win to our late friend Callum. Rest in peace, mate. But moving on to next season, a lot of fast boys in the division. Will I be up there? Don't know. I'll be happy to be mid-pack, to be honest. I can't see me keeping up with the top of Div 1, but looking forward to it nonetheless. Yeah.
Well, I think I'd like to think that you won't be struggling in Division 1 next season, given what you've shown. What you showed last season anyway. Obviously, going on to the new game, it will definitely help some. It may hinder others, but yeah, it will definitely be good to watch to see how you can get on in Division 1 next season. Because obviously you've tried your hand up in Elite or Division 1 as it was a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, on the older
you know,
game.
You've kind of been a bit of a wanderer throughout the divisions in SLR, but finally got settled in Division 2 and yeah, very worthy champion. So congrats on that, and congrats on the driver of the season award.
Yeah, thanks for everyone for voting. Can I say a little piece just quickly?
Yeah, sure.
So
go for it, mate.
obviously I dedicated that title to Callum. I just want to say Callum was a part of a very tight-knit group where we've made very good friends with each other, Owen being one of them. And we actually had a weekend away this weekend together. We actually went and saw Callum's father, sister, mother and girlfriend this morning. And I think on behalf of them, they'd like to thank everybody that donated towards the fundraiser. They're absolutely over the moon and thrilled with what has been brought in for them, and the amount of support that this league has given them. So from them and from us as a group of 8 people, I'd just like to say to the rest of the league and everybody that's chipped in for it, thank you very much. Yeah,
brilliant words there. Of course, we've got a few things coming up throughout the evening to hopefully at least do some or get some way of honouring Callum. Obviously in addition to what we've already tried and dedicated to him. But yeah, again, it's just as I mentioned on the night when we did the races for Callum, just showing how the community's come together in such a tragic dark time is it's brilliant to see, and dedicating a championship and an award as you've done there, Dorsey, is it's a little gesture, but it means a lot, I'm sure, to Callum. So yeah, that's brilliant to hear. Have we got Rockamad now, James, or are we?
No, it doesn't look like he's joining. I sent a couple invites. So.
All right. Well, if we're gonna go, we'll move on then. So unfortunately, it doesn't appear as though Rockamad's going to be joining us. If he's around later on, maybe we'll get him in for a quick word. But Rockamad did receive the most improved driver of this season. Again, Rockamad, one of those that's he's been around for a while, never quite settled down in division, it would seem. Was in Division 1 for a time, but yeah, got himself into Division 2. Was fighting for wins and victories towards the back end of the Season 5. and then was right in it for season 6. I think unfortunately maybe a little bit of inconsistency rather than a lack of pace was Rockamad's major downfall. But yeah, multiple race winner this season, gave it a really good go trying to battle Dorsey for the championship. Just fell short, but yeah, definitely improved a lot. And should he be racing next season, again, another one to watch if he's still in Division 2. And possibly even a dark horse to be fighting up there in Division 1 should he make the step up. Rockamad also received the admin's drive of the season for his race in USA. I believe USA was one of a few occasions this season where my controller keeps going crazy. Where the Renault team took, I think, 3 of the victories that weekend. So Rockamad receiving one of them. Again, not terribly well brushed up on Division 2, but I'd imagine it was a stellar drive to, I think, take the victory if I'm correct.
Started on the alternate strat.
There we go.
Outside top
OP
10, I think he started P12.
The OP
12
alternate
first,
strat
it was.
in USA. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, great drive from Rockamad there. And we've got the admin's driver of the season. And this award goes to not necessarily due to pace per se, although he's a very quick driver on his day. But it's for 100% attendance, so one of the most committed drivers this season, and that is Zach is Beast. So if we've got Zach here, just a few words on your season, mate, and again, as I've asked everyone now, what are you hoping for the next season?
Well, I have to say, this season hasn't been great for me. I know, at the start of the season was alright for me, but towards the end I kept on being bad every race. But yeah, I just thought I'd never give up and try my best. Next season, well, hoping to be up there. Hope to get points every race. But I don't know what my pace would be like on the new game, so we'll find out.
Yeah, definitely. I think well, I hope as well that the new game maybe shakes things up a bit and provides us with maybe some slightly more unexpected results throughout the league. But yeah, again, a solid season from yourself. Maybe not how you expected, as you said, Zach, but definitely, you know, the commitment is there, which is always great to see. You know, one of only a handful of drivers. So if there's nothing on track to boast about, that's certainly something to be pleased with. And we'll go to Owen, Division 2 head admin, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I was hoping I was right. Yeah, Division 2 head admin. You know, you were right up there this season as well, mate. You know, I'm sure you're really pleased with how this season's gone, not only for yourself, but for the division as a whole. Arguably the most entertaining division on its
Yeah,
day,
I think that's the
certainly.
best word to say. Definitely wasn't the cleanest, was it? But
Yeah.
we had some good races.
But yeah, I mean, again, Owen, mate, just your thoughts on the season as a whole, and what are you hoping for Division 2 as we head on to the new game?
Yeah, well, we started off. I remember Australia, or the first few races, we were actually like, well, coming into this season, we were being hailed as definitely going to be like the division with the most carnage, and we started the season really well, and it looked like we were the cleanest for a little bit, which was a bit of a surprise for the first 2 or 3 races or so, until we got a little bit further down. I remember Spain was a pretty interesting one for many people, myself included. But yeah, we did try and clamp down on much as the racecraft as possible, but it can be a struggle sometimes, and that it doesn't help always when there's a massive pace difference. And there was some of us in the division that definitely like improved a lot more as the season went on. You could see that from the guys that like racing every week; they were getting better and better. And then you had some guys that were struggling and trying to get points, and it definitely. I can't think of the words. It can sometimes, when that happens, when you've got a bit of a pace difference, it can cause a bit of carnage, as we saw a fair few times. I think it's fair to say. Yeah, well, next season I'm interested to see how it happens from a spectator point of view, because I've already confirmed myself that, of course, Liam's going to be on his own next season in terms of admins as it stands in Div 1, so I'm going to be hopping up there with him alongside Dorsey, so the top two going up for sure, that is. And definitely excited to see how Div 2 gets on with whoever the new head admin shall be. Whether they have some more admins in, we'll see, but definitely excited to see how they get on.
Yeah, it should be really exciting. I'm certainly looking forward to it, as I am looking forward to every division next season. I feel like with the new game coming out, it's really going to be. Well, I hope at least it springs some surprises, and it provides as good, if not better, racing than what we've been getting for the last 2 seasons on this game. So that should do us then, I believe, for Division 2. So then we'll move on swiftly to Division 1, but thank you all for coming in. Well done on your awards, and thank you for joining us and saying a few words. You know what, James? Do you want to do Division 1? I'll hand it over to you. I've been kind of dominating the stream, so I'll give you the honour then of conducting the Division 1 awards. How does that sound?
Yeah, it's fine, mate. Just find what Liam sent to me. Here we go then. Alright.
Just hang on. Sorry, James. Just before you do
we're
that.
Getting people in the party, or?
Yeah, we'll Riggsy, Brindy and Brindy.
Because I've had stuff I've had stuff written for me for Div 1 as well by Liam anyway. So.
All right. Riggsy and Brindy, if you can, mate. If not, no worries. We'll get onto that in a second.
Well, if you want to invite them, and I'll start on the awards.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, as you can tell, we haven't really planned this through very thoroughly, but we're going with it. So yes, the Division 1 driver of the season, voted for by his fellow drivers, was the champion Brindy boy. Noticing a bit of a running theme here with the division champion getting the plaudits from their peers, and so yes, the champion Brindy boy, who unfortunately I think as it stands won't be continuing on up to Elite next season. But yes, he is the driver of the season for Division 1. And the votes for most improved went to the runner-up, Riggsy. Who, yeah, I'm sure you'd agree as well, Harry. We both obviously did the majority, if not all, of the Division 1 streams last season, and yeah, Riggsy definitely a driver that really stepped up his game in the sort of second half of this game's cycle. Obviously not SLR related, but another league that we race with Riggsy, and he's really stepped his game up in that as well. So it's not like it's just a SLR thing. He's definitely started performing at a higher level, and I'm sure he can talk to us a bit about that as well. If you tick your box quickly, then Riggs.
Of course, Riggs raced in Elite as well for the last race of the season. And put in a brilliant showing. Will of course be joining us in Elite next season.
Well, it's not confirmed yet.
Well, not confirmed, but
Yeah.
I don't think it takes a genius to work that out. So yeah, if we can get I guess Riggsy's thoughts on his award, if you want to just repeat that maybe to him, James.
Yeah. So Riggs, most improved. You were voted for by your fellow Div1 drivers. So if you just want to talk us through how your season's gone and sort of how you're feeling after being voted as the division's most improved driver.
Honestly, I've not been prepared. I completely forgot we're having this tonight, to be honest. It wasn't until Liam messaged me last night, and I was like, "Oh shit, I need to go and do it." Like, so, cause I had to do the writing. So, but no, greatly appreciated to have got most improved. I think I got it last year too, so back to back. So it really kind of just it emphasises just how progressive the improvements have been. the season collectively has been, it's all right. We've had our ups and downs with everybody across the field. Div 1 has always been quite closely contested wherever it is on the grid. There's always that determination for the drivers to do better, and like you'll get your wee snags here and there, but I think collectively, like I think the majority of the drivers have enjoyed what they've gave up their all this season. And myself and Liam and McKean as the admins, like we would obviously like just extend our appreciation for the drivers that have made the commitment so regularly.
Yeah, I think that's well put. Of course, obviously mentioning the division as a whole from an admin's perspective, but yeah, obviously Brindy was voted driver of the season. Obviously, don't have
I'm
to
trying
tell
to get
us.
him in.
Yeah, don't have
I'm
to
not
tell
sure
us.
if
But was
he's
he the guy
joining.
that you voted for? Obviously, your championship rival at the end of the season.
Like there was, well, the admins were sitting talking about it. Like this was when the season had just no long finished, and like there's been drivers that we kind of had in our minds about being nominated and being put forward because we have seen some like rapid improvements for some of the drivers. Like for such a while, like I felt like honestly, if anyone was going to get most improved, it would have been Jib Jab because he got his first two league racing wins with SLR in Hungary and in Brazil. Like so, he's definitely kind of been stepping it up. Is like my honourable mention there. But no, like Brindy, it's one of the ones where it's just like you can't really fault like the way they've drove, way he's been driving all season. Like I think I wrote on the review that like I don't think he'll be caring too much about saying his season was a bit of a slow burner. Because I had to look through the results and that, and he didn't get after the greatest stats compared to like the likes of like Dylan and Bunny and Sam and Randall, who we thought like was going to be the ones leading the battle all season. But then Brindy just got he kind of fun a general feel and rhythm for the game, and then it was the hat trick of wins between Baku, Canada, France that really did set him in good stead. And I think for there, he's always been the benchmark. He's always been the one to beat, and he really does set a good precedent for the new croppy Div 1 drivers to achieve and beat.
No.
I think he's here though, so he'll probably have more insight in his end season than I do. I've been chasing him all season, so he'll care what it's like.
Just quickly, actually, of course, you mentioned Jib Jab there, and that just kind of made me realise, Harry, that we never did the sort of streamer votes for their driver of the season in the end. But I'm sure you'd agree with me in saying that if we had chosen one for Div 1, it probably would have been Jib Jab.
We did choose one for Div 1.
Did we?
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't really get much of a response from the other streamers for their various divisions, for whatever reason. But James and I, as the two that did the vast majority of the Division 1 streams this season, we thought it'd be a nice thing maybe to just give a little bit of recognition from obviously our position up in the booth. And well, kind of basically what Riggsy said, 2 wins, and really was pushing towards the top of the division. Towards the middle part of the season and onwards, definitely someone who you should maybe be expecting to be right up there next season. So yeah, we gave our Streamer Driver of the Season award to Jib Jab, but yes, as Riz mentioned, we are now joined by Brindy. If you want to give him have a quick word with him, then maybe James.
Yeah. So then we've obviously had our fair share of interviews throughout the season, but yeah, you've not only been voted as the driver of the season by your fellow Div 1 drivers, you also won the admin's driver of the season as well. So pretty much a clean sweep of awards for what you can win, and obviously the championship as well, which I'm sure is the one that you care about the most. But yeah, either way, it's always nice to get some recognition, and yeah, after the season that you had, it's thoroughly deserved. So yeah, if you've just got a few words on that, and then your season as a whole would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, everyone for the awards. I was not expecting that at all. Um, but yeah, I mean, the whole season's been really great. I've really loved driving. There's been a few races, obviously, where I've come away a bit annoyed, but you got to take the smooth with the rough. And yeah, I mean, the whole season was really fun for me. Um, and especially on a game where I was thinking that I wasn't going to enjoy it, and I was thinking about quitting league racing about halfway through. The whole sort of community came together, and I think it was really highlighted by the passing of our friend Callum. I don't want to bring that up too much, as I want this to be like a celebration evening, but the league racing community is so supportive, and when I sort of was thinking about quitting halfway through the season, I had numerous people message me saying, "Nah, come on, we want you to keep racing," and it kind of motivated me to keep going. And without them and without the people on the grid, I wouldn't have carried on, and I wouldn't have won the championship, which I'm really grateful for. And I know there was some speculation about I was in the wrong division, things like that. But at the end of the season, especially with Riggs, who was constantly chasing me, he did a really good job, really pushing me right to the end. And it was difficult. It might not have looked it, and there were some races which were easier than others. But it was really difficult for me to keep up with the other guys. There's about 5 or 6 really quick drivers, and as you mentioned, just as I got in, Jab is one of them, who was really getting quite fast towards the end. He won Brazil, and he was pushing me in Abu Dhabi, which was really really quick, and the whole division was really fast, and yeah, I did enjoy it. I think one of my favourite races was Japan, because I was kind of out of it. I wasn't even really in contention for the win, but then I sort of, in the last 4 or 5 laps, managed to capitalise on the safety car and get up into the lead. But yeah, I did really enjoy the season, and I'm really grateful for the support in the community and for the awards. So yeah, just thank you everyone. And it's a shame that I won't be able to race in the league next season, but I will be sticking around, as you guys probably know, in the Discord. So I'll probably stick around, maybe do some F2 or something like that. Because I want to stay. I do really love this community.
Yeah, well said. I think perfectly put at the end there as well. It's obviously great to see that you wanna stick around despite unfortunately not being able to drive in F1 anymore. And yeah, just I think again from both of us, obviously congratulations on the championship. It was really a fantastic season from yourself, and I think we're both quite disappointed that we're not going to be able to race with you and see how you can get on next season. But yeah, congratulations on a great season.
Cheers.
We have got one more award, I think, don't we, Harry, for Div 1? The drive of the season. If I can get my phone and get it up quickly. Yes, the drive of the season. I think it was you, Riggs, that wrote something up for this, so we'll just read this one out. It was given to the late SLR McEwen in the USA, who went from P10 to P2. So yeah, the little bit that's been written about this is as follows. There were many nominations that could have took this accolade, but with proper insight to the races and general standout performances, the skillful strategic masterclass by Haas driver SLR McEwen was chosen, as its highlights not only determined how McEwen was able to grind out results, but also showed that with a bit of common sense and the roll of the dice, sometimes you can get the rub of the green. After failing to set a time in Q3, McEwen started in 10th, and with the race looking to have little threat of rain at the end, drivers went into the race with no real thought of for wet tyres, and the question would be either a 1-stop or a 2-stop. McEwen had a quiet start and first stint, but as he was caught up in traffic early while the leaders would build gaps and form their own battles, he pulled the trigger early on an undercut and was able to get some clean air and set personal best laps as others suffered from the high tyre wear around the Circuit of the Americas. If I can get my words out, and he gained several positions from that early undercut. And then as the race unfolded, the rain began to hit the circuit late on. I do remember that. Obviously, Dylan spun out, didn't he? We remember that one. And then, stretched his tyres to the perfect point as drivers struggled to predict the crossover. And McEwen timed it to perfection, going into the pits for intermediates as Dylan and Riggs pitted a lap later after crawling around for an extra lap on the slick tyres. McEwen was inches away from stealing the lead, but just came out behind Riggs and just in front of Dylan, who the Renault driver was that's Riggs, of course, was just able to pull away with a bit of superior wet weather pace. But McEwen was able to hold on, keep Dylan at bay and come home in P2 after starting in P10, and it was a drive of knowledge and anticipation, which saw him pull off a pretty brave strategy, taking a gamble with two pretty early undercuts, and was an exemplary use of craft and racing wit. And then Liam's just added on to the end here that Callum's own words when we first brought up best driver of the season, he said, "Me at USA in the rain, shock, double undercut Bosch after bottling another quali." Quite short and sweet, but just summing up his race there as well. But I do remember actually now, having just read that for the first time, that it was a brilliant drive from Callum. We were quite disappointed that he didn't manage to set a lap in Q3 because his pace had looked pretty strong, and obviously he was able to show that in the race, going from P10 to P2. So a thoroughly deserved drive of the season there in Div 1 for SLR McEwen. All right then, Harry. I think,
is that me? Am I up?
if you wanna just get us going for the final section of the awards night, which is of course the elite division, the one that both myself and you are a part of course.
Yeah, all right. I can start us off, but I'd imagine it's going to again be you doing most of the talking, James, as elite head admin. So Riggs, Brindley, feel free to leave, lads. We're not going to hold you captive any longer.
Thank God for that. No, I'm good, man.
Right.
I greatly appreciate you having us, and we'll let you get on with it. I'm gonna bounce. So, thanks for having us.
Yeah, sure thing, man. Right then, James. In terms of the more statistic-based awards, I'm not entirely sure who's got what. I believe the most podiums.
I think we've got them here.
Award, is tied between.
Yes, that definitely was tied between.
A pair of us on 14.
Yep.
Kevin GT.
And V2
had the most. And V2 was it?
Yep.
They shared the fastest lap award last season. Most pole positions. I believe it was Hooperlicious. But as he left, I guess it goes to myself, I believe, on 4. And the most wins is also me, I believe, on 6. Is it?
I'll just double check quickly, but I think you're right on that one as well. I haven't actually got the most wins.
Well, that's what I've got written down.
Yeah,
I may be wrong.
No, it'll be
we'll
right,
roll with that
because I think we were level on 5 going into the final race. But whatever.
Right then. So now that's done, just so we can move on to the maybe more coveted awards. So in fact, we need to get some guys in. Roller being one of them, if we can, please, James.
Yep. I know who the other one is as well.
So before we go to that, then I'll start with Crispy, because he has received the most improved driver of the season award. Unfortunately, can't join us tonight, but he has written me a little paragraph to read out. So I'll do that. So yeah, Crispy, I believe back-to-back seasons, is it, that he's received the most improved driver award? But again, he come on leaps and bounds from where he was. I mean, I think we saw it in even the first round at Australia, and then just continued it throughout the season. Constantly fighting for podiums. Didn't quite manage to get that victory that he was definitely looking for, but yeah, multiple podiums throughout the season for Crispy. He said, "Thanks to everyone that voted me for the best driver." For the most improved driver, sorry. And he said, "This has definitely been my best season in SLR yet, and the one I've enjoyed the most. To end up with 6 podiums this season in Elite has been fantastic, and it's something I wasn't expecting. I've put a lot of effort in throughout the game to try and improve my pace, racecraft, and consistency, if I can get my words out. And I think I certainly managed to do that. As I mentioned, I think we all noticed that throughout the season. Obviously, not just us as admins, but drivers as well." And then he said to be up near the top most weeks, challenging with Ham Jam, Midzy, Hoop when they were here was awesome. And then hopefully next season, he's looking to try and get his first elite win and maybe challenge for the title against myself and yourself, James. Although I think it might be more us doing the catch up. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's what Crispy said. Again, a great season from him, wasn't it, James? Really up there, challenging multiple pole positions as well, which was great to see. So yeah, well done and congratulations to him. I'll hand it over to yourself, James, and to go through the rest of the awards.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we get the admin's driver of the season out of the way so that Roller doesn't have to listen to us ramble on for the next 20 minutes. So yeah, kind of sets us up quite nicely then. The admins, so myself, Harry, and Freeman, we decided to give our driver of the season to Race Roller. I think that was purely based off of the fact that we didn't want to give it to myself and give me that award, which I think is fair enough, to be honest. There's people that had better seasons in retrospect than what I did, and yeah, I think Roller's definitely one of them. Obviously, could have been a good shout for most improved as well, Harry. We talked about that as well between the three of us, but yeah, obviously making a big step up in performance from the end of last season. Yeah, getting quite a few podiums, and unfortunately the first win just eluding you, but yeah, on the whole it was another great step up for this season. I'm sure you'll be hoping to make the step up even further for the next one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I initially went backwards from the end of season 5 into season just gone, season 6. I think I got 5 points in the first 6 races, and then knocked out Q1 almost every race. It was pretty terrible. Considered even stopping at one point because of how frustrated I was with myself and how slow I was compared to everyone else. Then Monaco came around, was able to get a podium. Then I think it was Azerbaijan, I finished 5th or so, and then got another podium in Canada. So that sort of set me up for the rest of the season. Could have had another podium maybe in Britain, but clowned it and crashed into Crispy. Could have had a win in Russia and Brazil, I think it was, which is slightly painful that I didn't get them, given how close I was. But yeah, we'll just have to see what the next game holds. You never know. The game might suit me more, might be able to get a few wins, might be able to, as Crispy said, me and him could both be up there for the title we're used to. But, well, yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, well, I think overall, though, getting the admin's driver of the season obviously shows that, well, I know for a fact, obviously, yeah, us as the admins thought that you had a really impressive season. I think, yeah, at times definitely there was the pace there for the win, and maybe that little bit of luck that you needed just didn't quite come. But yeah, overall, I think we all definitely agreed that you were one of the standout performers for this season.
Cheers.
All right, do you wanna take us through the next couple of awards then, Harry? Because I should think I'll be doing a bit of the talking. Well, I know I'll be doing a bit of the talking at least in a minute.
Yeah, sure. what am I waiting on doing? Driver of the season. Driver's driver. There we go. Got there eventually. I believe that went to yourself, James. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I've not got it in front of me. But I believe it was yourself. Was it? Yes? No? Maybe?
Driver of the season was me.
Yeah. So, of course, winning the championship, your second title in SLR, first elite championship, of course. Consistency is key. I think you demonstrated that rather well. Again, as you did with your first title. I think you did it again with this one. So yeah, I mean, well done on that, and well done on driver's driver of the season. And yeah, I mean, I think this is probably a good point to ask you what your hopes are for next season. Of course, kind of contemplating making that switch towards no line, whether it's straight away or it comes after a little while. Obviously, that's your decision to make in, I guess, the next few weeks before we head to, well, hopefully it will be Bahrain for the first round of the new season. But yeah, I mean, as I say, just sort of talk us through what you're hoping to achieve next season on the new game.
Well, yeah, I think for starters, obviously, it'd be nice to have another shot at the championship. I think that, yeah, as you say, kind of just depends on how the no line running goes. It might just be a season of sort of getting up to speed with it and seeing how it goes, and then yeah, going for a bit of a championship push in season 8. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to the new game. I always do. Kind of fallen out of love with this one a little bit towards the end of the game's life cycle, as yeah, quite a few do. Haven't touched it for a couple of weeks. Don't think I'll touch it before the new one comes out, to be honest. But yeah, obviously quite a few new tracks as well, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I'd like to think I can get up to some sort of relative speed with no line fairly quickly, and if I can, then hopefully, yeah, challenging once again for the title. But I can't see it being, I would say, being as easy as this season, but this season definitely wasn't easy either. I think this next one, no line, will be quite a big struggle if that's what I do choose to go with. But I think it's something that me and you have been talking about for quite a while, and I think we just want to go for it and see how it goes. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We can always put the line back on if we'd rather do that. But no, I think it's definitely going to be worth trying it out. And then yeah, I think going back to this season as a whole, as you said at the start, consistency. I think that probably is what helped, to be honest. I'm not going to blow my own trumpet and say I was the quickest driver, because I don't think I was, to be honest. But just getting those consistent high scoring places. I think Hungary was the only race I didn't finish in the points, and that was because of a penalty for an instant where I was, yeah, maybe just a bit too aggressive, or just going for it a bit too much in a decent position. But yeah, obviously it's nice to get the recognition from the guys within Elite for driver of the season. We didn't have the highest amount of votes, but the votes that we did have, it was nice to see, and also a mix of votes as well, because I think it would have been doing some guys a bit of an injustice if it was just me getting all the votes. But yeah, I think on the whole, obviously as the head admin of Elite, I think we had another really good season. Close title fight for a majority of it, until yeah, obviously Hoop dropped out kind of quite near the end, and yeah, you didn't have a great start, which maybe robbed us of a bit of a fight. But no, on the whole, great clean racing 90% of the time. Again, I think we probably had the fewest incidents, fewest penalties given out as well. So yeah, just hoping for more of the same next season. Close, clean racing between the whole division, and I think we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that is it for Elite, unless there's anything I'm missing for awards. And if not, then I suppose we can get on to the LO's awards. If we can maybe pass an invite over to Ranga and get him in. That would be good. And he can give us just a bit of an insight into this season and well, I don't know, maybe even some some hints on what's going to be happening next season. As it's been relatively quiet thus far as to what's going to be happening in the next few weeks before the start of the new season. So maybe Ranga will be able to shine a bit of light on that, or maybe it's going to be kind of kept under wraps for the time being.
Good evening,
Hello,
gentlemen.
I believe. Have I got the yellow awards, or have you got them, James? They're
Um,
somewhere.
yeah, I think I got them.
I've
Scott sent
misplaced
them to you,
them.
didn't he? I,
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we've got them here. Here we go.
Let me try and find them
I
myself.
think I kind of lost them within. Oh yeah, I've got them
Yeah,
here.
well, there's a couple of awards, isn't there, to
Yeah.
give out. If you want to go with it, James.
Yeah, I can. I'm sure. Yeah, yourself, Ranga can give us a bit more insight into why these guys have been given these awards. I think it's just the two.
Yeah.
So the McEwen Award for services to SLR and the MVP award. So we'll start with the McEwen Award for services to SLR. And you guys as the LOs have decided to give that one to Gareth. So if you just want to maybe explain what the award is firstly and why you've chosen Gareth for that one.
I think, well, the award is just a bit of an adaptation on what we've had in previous seasons in terms of just an award the LOs think deserves to go to someone who's just has gone above and beyond, really, in terms of what they've done for the league. And it's usually given to someone who's been there for a long time. I think last season it was given to... Oh, I'm going to get some names mixed up here, but I've got a feeling it was... Oh, Joe and Owen got MVP, so I'm getting it mixed up. But you know what I'm trying to say? It's given to someone who's been here for a long time and commits a lot of time to the league and gives their all into the roles and positions that they have. And I think it's only right that Gareth gets it this season. He's been here for a very, very, very long time, and he continues to lead from the front in terms of admin responsibilities and how to sort of organise his division. And obviously he's got a lot of respect from his fellow admins throughout the divisions, and obviously from the drivers, particularly within his division. You obviously get that. I've got that sort of sense from being in parties with him and some of his drivers that he's very well respected within his division. And yeah, he just sort of embodies everything that we sort of want from someone who's got a position as high as he has. He's a fantastic bloke. He's always there for his drivers or for anyone, in fact, actually. Obviously, the award's obviously been renamed for our late friend Callum, and it was just right, I think, that Gareth deserved it. You know, sort of. I think it's changed a little bit this season. It's almost something like trying to sort of change it so it's almost a little bit like what Callum sort of brought to the table himself in terms of how he conducted himself and how he helped out, particularly the admins of Division 1. But I think Gareth is similar to Callum in that sense that he does a lot, does everything that sort of is asked of him or sort of puts himself forward for, and doesn't make a fuss really, and gets on, does a great job, and has done for a very long time. So I think he's a very worthy winner.
No, I mean you've summed that up perfectly. I'd say just one thing that I'd add personally. I think since becoming a head admin myself at the start of this year, the one thing I've noticed about Gareth is no matter what the issue is or what division it's within, if you've got a problem, you put it in the chat. He's always willing to offer advice and offer his support on what you're doing. So I think he's one of those guys. He doesn't just care about his own division. He cares about SLR as a whole, as a league, which is always a great value to have. And yeah, I think the award for the McEwen Award for services to SLR is definitely an award that fits what he's done for the league.
Spot on.
And I think the last one we've got is the MVP award, and you guys gave that one to Liam. I don't think either myself or Harry would disagree with that one. I don't think we'd be able to argue for Liam not to get that award. So yeah, if you just want to again sort of talk us through the
Yeah.
thought process beyond that one.
To me, this was an absolute no-brainer, and I think to a lot of the other LOs, it was the same. It's just he does everything. He's done it for a very long time, and obviously last year, I'm pretty sure we gave the MVP to Owen and Joe, and obviously Liam sort of narrowly missed out. But you can't really give it to sort of three people. But it's difficult. You know, he's been there for such a long time, and he's done an amazing job running Division One, and you know we laugh, we have a laugh and a joke with him, and he's just fantastic that he can sort of, you know, when he needs to be serious and tell people to mute your mics, as he's sort of famous for saying, he will say it as it is, and he's firm with people, but at the same time he's always there for a laugh, and he's very approachable. So any sort of issue, I mean, I've been friends with Liam now for a very long time, and he's a good mate of mine, actually, is Liam, to be honest, and he's always been there for me, and he's always been there for anyone else who wants to go to him, and that's what the MVP is about. It's not just what you do on track or what you do in the Discord server. It's everything. It's all just the all-round person. You know, how approachable is he? You know, does he actually get to the bottom of any problems? Does he go out of his way to solve things? And he does, and he's always there for a laugh and a joke, and he's a fantastic lad, is Liam. And he's done it for such a long time, and I think it's just thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He's definitely done a lot for us. Yeah, all round great guy as well. I think is probably the best way I could describe Liam.
Yeah, selfless, isn't he, Liam?
Yeah, 100%.
Doesn't ask for anything in return, but offers, you know, a lot of his time to help in the league.
Again, it's difficult, man, and you know, when it comes down to these awards that the LOs sort of have to give out, it's never easy, because there's usually a fairly long list of worthy winners. It's always difficult to sort of narrow it down to either one or two people, and I think on this particular occasion, I think Liam's been unlucky in previous seasons not to sort of get the award or the sort of recognition that he would probably deserve. I don't really think he cares, in all honesty, whether he gets an award or not. You know, I think obviously that, you know, it will mean something to him, and he'll be happy about it. But I don't think, you know, he doesn't do it for the award. He doesn't do it so he can get an MVP award at the end of the season, or gets a bit of like, oh, well done, Liam, in the Discord server. You know, he does it because he loves it, and he showed that this season. And although I didn't race a lot myself, he was always there, and everything that I'd asked him to do, whether it was a Discord or in the division or in whatever it was, he was straight there. And if I needed him, he was there. And he run Division 1 absolutely incredibly alongside Callum and Riggs, and done, well, a lot of other things as well as that. So I think people forget that, actually, about Liam. Obviously he's the Division 1 head admin, but he does so many other things in the background, and he's taken over the reins of the Discord server from Smoke as well throughout the season, and yeah, he's just an all-round top bloke.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's a brilliant way to end. In terms of awards, that is all we've got this evening. Just before you go, and just before we wrap it up, Ranga, I don't suppose there's any chance we can get a little bit of an insight into what's going to be happening in the next few weeks as we head into the new season?
Difficult to say at the minute. Obviously, we've got to wait for the new game to come out, and I think what we might have done last season, I think, you know, if we're being a bit honest with ourselves, we might have rushed into the season in the first place a little bit too quickly. If from my personal perspective, I think obviously we saw, particularly at the start of last game, how unstable sort of the multiplayer was, and how it contributed to a few issues that we didn't really want. So I think we're going to just see how it goes first. But I think obviously with a new game, we've got to sort of make sure that everyone is in the right division again. It's not as simple as going like mid-game, sort of going to a new season mid-game when we know what people's pace is like. So it's going to be what it was like last summer, when we're going to have to get the game. And everyone's going to have to get on that game, and we're going to have to understand what everyone's pace is like, because as Roller said himself earlier, the game might suit different people and it might not suit others, you know, that sort of thing. And we need to be completely certain on who goes where before we sort of understand anything to do with divisions. Unfortunately, we're not going down the route of an extra division, which is what we were considering at some stage last season. But for the time being, we're just going to keep it with what we've got. I think in recent weeks we've had a massive influx into the league in terms of people wanting to race and I guess publicity. I guess of not really for the ways we would have wanted, but so theoretically it still could be possible. But I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to look at into next season. It was probably going to be for the season after. But I think at the same time, the way that we look at it is if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think the league is very self-sustaining. It runs itself to an extent from the way that we are, and obviously we're there to sort of oversee things when needed. But the admins and head admins are just incredible, and all the dirty hard work that is done behind the scenes that not everyone sees is pretty much done by them. And the yellows are there to sort of make a sort of major decision or lend a hand when needed. But I think this is actually a good opportunity to thank everyone, particularly from the yellows perspectives, everyone who's sort of contributed to this season in any shape or form, whether it be head admins, streamers, stewards, and there's been a lot of different people who've contributed in lots of different ways, and even just people who've driven, because without people who drive, it's nothing, is it? So we could do all that, we can put in all the work as much as we want in the week or whatever it is, getting it ready for the races that come the weekend, and if no one turns up, it's all a waste of time, isn't it? So I think on that front, it's been brilliant. Personally, I've not been able to be around or race anywhere near as much as I would have liked to. I've had a few things that have sort of stopped me from doing that. Hopefully, I'll be back a little bit more next season on the racing front. If not, I'll still be doing my sort of LO roles and whatever is asked of me, pretty much. But yeah, I think it's been another great season for the league, and the last sort of couple of weeks has overshadowed the majority of the season, I think, sadly for me and a fair few other people. But I don't think Callum would want any of it to sort of be forgotten or to be of the season be marred by what's happened as such, because it would be, I guess, unfair to everyone who's contributed and everyone who's had success. But at the same time, it would just be a shame, really. I think we've got to just take the positives, and we've got to move on and do what Callum would want us to do. It's going to be difficult, I think, from our perspectives. I think going to the next season, because obviously Callum was a huge part of our league, like a massive part, not just in terms of his roles, but just in terms of how he just his character, really, and how he was part of the league. But yeah, we've definitely got the infrastructure and the people to go above and beyond again next season, and I'm fully confident that we will. But yeah, I've kind of gone off track. Sorry, boys. But in terms
it's fine.
In terms of between the now and the off season, no, we've got to get start the season. Sorry, we've got to get the game. Everyone's got to get the game. We've got to give people time to get the game. Then we've got to sort of work out what are the issues with the game, because there usually are some sort of issues in the first. Well, it depends. If you talk about this game, there's probably issues the entire 12 months it's out. But hopefully next game is a little bit more stable. We just got to have to go from there. It's almost going to be a little bit more play like ear. Play it from the ear, really. But I think, when does the game come out? Is it the 16th?
It's pretty much next Tuesday, I think, is early access.
That's the 13th.
Friday. Yeah,
okay.
I think it's the 13th and then the 16th.
Well, obviously there'll be official confirmation. So if the game's available to everyone next Friday, which is the 16th, I'd like to think that the season would probably start I'd probably say the first weekend of August, so something around the 6th, 7th, 8th of August. That would be my guess. But it's not confirmed yet, and so don't sort of take that. We'll take that with a pinch of salt, really, until it's officially confirmed. But there will be some stuff planned. There will be some invitationals and some events going on as per. I think that some of the lads have got a Wreckfest event planned as well. That should be pretty fun. And yeah, I think I think as well it will give people a bit of a chance to have a bit of a rest, as people work incredibly hard. Obviously, they've got a lot going on in their own day-to-day lives, as well as people who have to take on a lot of roles within the league, and it's nice to just to be able to park it for a few weeks and to recharge and go again for the next season, which is good. Hopefully, this is also a little bit off track, but hopefully, a bit of an idea is what building on what Dawes said earlier when he was giving his speech. But it was about 8 of us. I think it was 8 of us who met up this weekend and had a bit of we went karting today and we've done all sorts of things, and it was incredible experience, to be honest. It was amazing. And I think we'd like to do something with sort of the wider SLR community in some shape or form. I think what the events of the last couple of weeks have definitely brought people together, and made people realise, this is a pretty strong, tight-knit community, and if we lose a member, someone like Callum or anyone for that matter, then it's going to hit people hard. And I think we'd like to, at some stage in the next couple of months, if possible. It's going to be a bit of a logistical challenge, but we're going to try and do something like an SLR sort of karting day. We're going to try and sort of get a track somewhere towards the middle of the country, so it's easier for as many people as possible to get there, and try and see if we can get as many people from SLR to be there as possible, and that would be the dream. Whether that's possible for like either a day or a weekend, I don't know, but it's something that we would really, really, really like to do. And I think today, having had a bit of a taste with some of the other lads, it was incredible. It's something that I think would be really nice to bring everyone together. But yeah, I think watch this space on that front. It's something that I'll definitely be pushing behind the scenes and trying to work out the logistics of, in terms of dates, times, and what we can, prices, I guess, everything, what we can expect from a weekend like that. And yeah, watch this space. I think that's pretty much it, boys. I haven't really got a huge amount else to say.
All right then. Well, thank you for joining us first and foremost, Rango, and to everyone for that matter, for joining us throughout the evening. Yeah, I guess just keep your eyes peeled then, by the sounds of things, for any information with regards to next season and beyond in the next few weeks. And as we head on to the new game, I'd imagine most likely this will be the last sort of action that we're gonna have on this game for the league. So yeah, it's treated as well, I'd say, for the most part, F1 2020. But we're always looking forwards and looking up, and hopefully F1 2021 can be even better. But yes, so thank you for joining me, James.
My pleasure, mate, as always.
Lending me a hand. Yeah, thank you to everyone who joined us, and congratulations as well to everyone for their awards. Thank you to all of you who tuned in, and thanks to all the drivers again for making this season such a great one. I guess catch us for whatever events we've got up and coming in the next few weeks. But for now, and most likely for F1 2020, it's good night and goodbye.